James Melendez, James the Wine Guy. Stay tuned for this first time ever. This is my first vlog. James Melendez, James the Wine Guy, James Melendez in general. I was going to call myself James the Unguy because I do have a lot of titles. James the Tech Guy, James the Travel Guy, and sometimes I'm just James Melendez. And that's a great thing, right? I would hate to be just pigeonholed into one. I would hate to be just pigeonholed into just one thing. Ultimately, I think it's important to think about things. And when I was at VidCon, I learned a lot about myself. I learned, first of all, it's a 45-degree angle learning curve upward. I hope to do a video on that. I hope I have enough source material to do that with. We'll find out. It's, when you're there, you're immersed. It is not an easy thing to do. It's not scientific-y. I love that word. I just made it up. And that is to really go there and experience and to explore and be willing to, be around people. And the randomness is really a prize, in my opinion. I remember being interviewed just on the spot by Bad Weather Films, and I hope they actually publish that video. And if they don't, that's fine too. At first I'm like, am I being made fun of? Maybe, maybe not. And if so, maybe it's a good bit of publicity. Who knows? I thought it was a sweet video and really enjoyed it. So for me, it's being there, being present, and being willing to take that first step, and being willing to open up to the world. Yes, I had people put rabbit ears when I was trying to do my video, which is fine, but ultimately wasn't the best part of me in terms of that particular moment when I was speaking. And I know when it is and when it isn't. And yes, you have to edit videos, because if you don't, I don't want anybody to be labored through a long play of really, stuttering or, just ahs for about 10 minutes. I don't really want that. It's really to talk about, me, and my first vlog is to say, being there was important to realize several things, and in that importance of learning was just to get down to basics. And first, it was really hard to get in some classes. I thought, I'm not going to get there. I made the mistake, and here's my my pass. It's actually upside down. Community, and I went to the producer. Well, you're not allowed to go in there because you're not paying the $550 fee. And I didn't realize there were two different tracks. I thought, well, maybe one was just talking about more of a professionalized class you could go to. All you needed was just one ticket. Well, no, I was wrong. I'll be back for more. And I think it's really about first of all, 5 things that I learned was to build my community. Yes, I have about 600 subscribers. That's awesome, and thank you so much for being a subscriber. I hope to spread this even further, because when I look at my videos, and I've done a lot of them, obviously 1,621, is that I need to really register in a different direction. That is, who am I? I talk about this mysterious, wonderful substance, actually not a mysterious substance, a wondrous substance known as wine. But it's to talk about me as well, maybe on a weekly basis. I think that's what the goal is going to be. And to pull that forward and say, I'm about, about wine, good food, good wine, travel, friends, family. I'm about, just trying to really understand technology in terms of how you connect. In the beginnings, before, all this great social media happened. But when you think about social media, it's been around for a very long time. It's just been much more provocative and much more relevant today. I wouldn't say exactly today. I wouldn't say exactly today, but maybe 5 years ago to the present moment, it's just been much more aligned. And I think that crispness, if you will, in terms of having great social media technology and having an audience and a group of people to connect with is an important thing. Building my community, number 1. Build my community, really important to do. And I have 600 of you out there who have subscribed. Thank you so much. And I keep asking, a lot of people that I do wine reviews for, please share the video. And I would say that many of them do. Many of them are engaged in social media, but I would say a good number of them, not all of them, are not affiliated with social media, or they do so haphazardly. And ultimately, that audience is, if they do have social media presence, wanes and doesn't really pay attention any longer. You have to be active. It's a communication tool. It's a talk. And that reminds me of my talk in Spain in year before last, where I talked about how many people had a Twitter site, or a Twitter handle more precisely, is they were not utilizing that. They were there once a week. And I think there's a saying which is, Nobody wants to be present while paint is drying. Let's be honest, it's just not going to happen. And so number 2 is to collaborate. I need to collaborate even further. I put a lot of requests out there to people, and only a few of them really have said, yes, let's do it. I'm really interested. I want to engage. I want to collaborate. I want to do a video with you, and vice versa. And so part of me is like pulling away from those people that I feel obligated, and that's not a bad thing. I just feel like, gosh, if I don't do that, I'll hurt someone's feelings. It's not about hurting feelings. It's about, let's find people who want to collaborate and do a video together. So that is a goal. And I think that's something that really became apparent in this VidCon 2014. Number 3 would be do a vlog. Now, I was just kind of like put away from that because I was afraid or concerned or, gosh, what if I lose subscribers? But then I listened to a lot of speakers at VidCon, and I thought, there's something to this secret sauce, which is giving that personal side. Yes, I have likes and dislikes, and I have passions, and I have things that, that are not just wine-oriented. Wine is a wondrous thing, and that's why, first of all, I'm passionate about it. If I wasn't, I wouldn't have a wine channel on it. But ultimately, it's to give some color, so to fill in those blank spaces. So also work on incremental improvements. That was the other thing I learned. So number 4, incremental improvements. How can I improve quality of what I'm doing? And that is something that I'm really trying hard to do. Now, 5 years ago, when I first started doing wine videos, was that I actually just did one take, and if it wasn't perfect, then I'd do it again and again and again and again and again. It was just too hard. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to use edits. And yes, sometimes people are not happy with that, but it's not about trying to make people unhappy. It's just that, it's really hard to do. Everybody I know who does a vlog does edits. It's just life. It's actually easier to watch when you have an edit versus when you don't. I try to do very few as possible, but again, it's about incremental improvements. And number 5, it's keeping connected, be experimental, be willing to try different things. And I think that is key. And I think that's what keeps people away from doing things, being experimental and trying things. So those are my 5 takeaways. I think when I first got there, I was a little discouraged. I would go to a class that, after I learned that I can go to producers classes, or the producer seminars, I decided just, how can I get into just the community seminars or panels? I finally got in there. I finally got into those particular ones. And, I was down for a bit. I lost 2 cell phones. Yes, I have 2 cell phones. My friend Jennifer teases me and says, are you a dealer or something? I'm like, no, I'm not a dealer. I just happen to have 2 cell phones. And I think that's just a great thing is that I laugh at my friends and they laugh at me. But I lost 2 phones, and guess what? Some great person at VidCon picked them up, took them to security, and thank you very much. I wish I knew who you were. I want to meet you. I would like to give a hug or something. I think it's really important to give thanks. And so thank you so much for watching me. More to come on a weekly basis. So I'll still do some wine video reviews. I'll do quite a few because I have a lot of wine. But I think it's ultimately to talk more about what is interesting to me. I had to have this as a prop. Now, this is something that's a fantastic rosé, and I do have a video on that, and that'll be coming up shortly. I don't want to talk about that particular one yet because I haven't filmed it yet. I'm a little superstitious about once I say there's a video and it doesn't exist, well then what if it doesn't exist? I guess that's the perfectionist in me. I'm a recovering perfectionist. That's something you should know. And I think that's a really hard thing. Some people think it's a great thing. I don't, and it's unfortunate. I'm not sure why I was born a perfectionist. I think it's born. I think I think this is something that's innate and something I think you can reduce the intensity of it. You'll always be a perfectionist, but I think you can bring that downward so you're not totally consumed by it. So thank you for watching. Other subject matter, questions and answers, please ask away. I love this, and I love the freedom of doing something like this because that's what it's all about. So stay tuned for more reviews in general, more vlogs, more wine reviews, more wine educational reviews. And I'm on most social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Vimeo, Google+, and Pinterest. Salud.